And without any further delay, go ahead. There's no need for introduction.
I think there's a need for introduction.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Philip Polsinelli,
And that was even without an ado.
a Google certified extraordinaire trainer.
Okay, so we're going to look at our introduction to Google Classroom here, as you can see by the screen, and as you know because you signed up for it, and that was the title. So before I get into digging into Classroom, actually we might have a little more fun with this today because during this, maybe around the second half, I might make one that everybody can kind of join in and you can kind of get in on the student experience of this a little bit, and we can try it out once I kind of show you how this works. Let me start by saying that this is just really, really easy to do. The only thing is it does take, I'd say maybe one time using it with a real class to really see all of the possibilities and how things actually kind of go for you, and you start to really kind of uh, get acquainted with exactly how to control it once you use it one time. No matter how many times I demonstrated it or tried it or played with it, I never really experienced some of the things that could happen with it. None of them really bad, just sometimes unexpected, until I actually used it with a class. So it's really good to kind of get your feet wet with a class as soon as possible. Before I dig into it, I just want to talk about some of the reasons why you might want to use it. Well, number one, it's online and it gives your students complete access to any classroom documentation that you're going to need. So it's basically your whole classroom organized in one spot online that both you and the students can access. Some advantages that happen is, one thing is when you create a Google class, a class in Google Classroom, it immediately makes a folder in your Google Drive for that class. And within that folder, it makes is my mic out?
No, you're
Okay.
fine.
No, you're good.
We lost your mic. Give
No,
Phil
everybody
a
else
chance.
can hear me.
I got it. I can hear it.
Faisal?
Yes, Phil.
Everybody can hear me.
Yes.
So let me go on. So anyway, so you get it makes folders for you. Okay, it allows you to work paperless if you want. I love working paper. Everybody else can hear me except you.
Oh,
They all said they can hear me. Okay.
Yeah.
That's important.
Faisal just barged in the office. Okay. So you can share a single document, okay, in a collaborative way with students, meaning like this. Let's say that you wanted to create something that the entire class contributed to all on one document. You could put that in as one assignment and all students would have access to that one document. Or you could create one document one time that every time a student accesses it, it actually made them force a copy to their that's unique to just them. So that becomes their unique assignment that they might be wanting to turn in. So that's a nice thing that it does.
Phil,
You can quickly. Yeah, did you have a question?
yeah, I'm trying to. Is it called Google Sites?
No, Google Classroom.
Yeah, I don't see it as an option.
It's not in. It wouldn't be in your drive that way. I'll show you how to get there.
Okay, all right.
It's actually the way you got there before.
Oh, I
Okay,
see.
so you can actually at a glance you can see who got done with their work when you have assignments and whose assignments are outstanding. And I don't mean outstanding meaning they're good. I mean outstanding meaning they haven't been done. Okay. You can provide feedback as soon as you're grading assignment. You can send the student a private message about the assignment that could open up dialogue about it, as opposed to just putting it in there, and it becomes almost like a little back and forth chat, not in real time, but a chat that they can use. You can create on the fly announcements and discussions right in a feed. And if you like, you can, if you're teaching a class and you want to do a quick exit poll, maybe a quick question to see if the students are comprehending that particular topic, you can throw something in there on the fly very quickly, a one-question quiz, so to speak. And you can share any resource and your entire resources for your entire class, your entire semester, your entire marking period, however that works. You can share that very easily. And then it makes it easy for you because you don't constantly have students going, well, I lost this. Do you have another copy? Or, you know, whatever. They will always have a copy. So what does it do for the students? Well, first of all, they can keep all their stuff organized because it automatically organizes all the work they do for the class right in their Google Drive. They will get assignment notifications. When they get on to Google Classroom, they will have an agenda that will show all the stuff that to be done. So if they're a high school student and 4 of their teachers are using Google Classroom and they're joined in on all those classes, they will get notification. They basically have their schedule made for them for all their work that is pending. You know, it organizes all your due dates for you, which is pretty much in the same realm of what I'm talking about. You can get to your work and work on your work anywhere or anytime. It's easy to collaborate with classmates and have discussions if that is permitted by the instructor. Okay, it's very easy to share resources. So now here you are looking for great things to show resources on your class and say, wow, check this video out or check out this website. Well, your students can do that too. If you permit them to post to the feed, if they see something that's really relevant to the class that they want everybody to check out, now they're contributing, okay? And you can give real-time feedback to students as you go along. So let's make our first class. Okay, so let me get out of this. And to go to my first class, I'm going to go to, let's see here. I'm going to go to classroom.google.com. Okay, and now right here, what you're seeing are previous classes I've made. Only one of these was actually a real class, and it's this one called Rhythm and the Blues. As you can see, I had my 35 students. This was my first time using it in one of my classes, and I really liked the way it went. It really liked it, and the students really liked it. All these other ones are ones that I make when I teach workshops. So that's why you'll see they only have like 1 student in them and things like that. So that's how it works. I'm going to click on one that I've made. I don't really want to go into the one that was my Stockton course too much, particularly from the student side, because I do have real student names and real student data in there, and I really don't want to, you know, expose that stuff. Anyway, this is just a very simple class. This is something I was playing with a little bit today, and I'm only opening this to show you the interface. And then after this, we're going to start to make one from scratch. So right now, when you click into a class, as from a teacher's perspective, this is what you see. Okay, so these are various assignments I've made and maybe some announcements and things. See how I'm scrolling through, and it looks kind of like a Facebook feed, really. Okay, so you can see what this looks like. Now, additionally, I have 2 other tabs up here. I have my student tab, and this gives me a list of the students I have in here. By the way, I've listed myself as a student. I've gone on as a separate thing here. So I'm in here as a teacher and a student. But if you click on a student name, you can see any of the work that's been assigned to them and what they've done. So as you can see, my quiz up here is missing. I haven't submitted that yet, okay? But these have been turned in, and that means that they've been turned in, but they haven't been graded. And this is, you know, just some very things. So you can click on any student and just get a quick look at everything they've done, what they need to be done, and how they're doing in the class. And as things are going on, you can actually send this entire report to a student. Actually, I'll show you where you do that right now. If I go to the little email icon on the top here, if I want to email, look at this, I can do include student work summary. You can just blast it to them. You know, how have I done in the class? You send it to them. Okay, so you know, that fits in there nicely. So that's the student look. Okay, and I'm going to talk about inviting students in a minute. Now, the next tab is called About. And about is something that most teachers don't use enough, and they don't use it properly. What it's for is every time you have a document or a resource or something that is something that applies to an entire class, I'm meaning from the beginning of the class to the end of the class. If you're a K-12 teacher and your class is from September to December, for that entire period, any document, maybe it's a vocabulary list, maybe it's the syllabus for the class, maybe it's a bunch of resources of, whatever. If it's going to be done for the entire class, you put it there. And this makes it really easy for the students to find if they have to keep going back to a document throughout the entire semester or marking period. And so like you can see, I have a syllabus in here because that's the perfect thing to have in here. Every now and then I'll make maybe a spreadsheet of the class agenda or overall schedule, important dates or something, and put that in there so the students can see that. But I really don't have to, because it creates a Google Calendar for your class. So as I add assignments and things like that, it actually puts it right into your Google Calendar, which you can access and students can access, and it's another way to get to things. As I said before, you can also get to your class drive folder, and inside the folder is, look, these are little assignments I created that have had submissions. So if I ever want to get to student work, I can actually go right in here and click on these folders, and I can find things right there if I want to. But most of the time, you can get to those right from Classroom anyway. Okay, so that's how that goes. Now the stream is the bulk of what you look at. And before I go into creating a class, I'm going to show you a little bit from the student perspective. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to look at this very same page as a student. Now here I am as a student, and this is what the stream looks like. So you can see it doesn't look that much different, but you can see if I have like an assignment that has to be done or something like that, I can open it and I can do some things. I'm going to go through the whole scenario of somebody submitting an assignment and what it looks like. But you can see, this just lays out nice and easily. Whatever is most current always goes to the top. So it works very much like, say, your Facebook feed or whatever. But I'm going to go back to my teacher. Whoops, I am in my teacher thing here. And I'm going to start a class from scratch. So to do that, I'm going to click over here on the top left corner. And I'm going to click on classes. And of course, I see a grid of the classes I've already created. I'm going to click this plus sign on the top that says create or join a class. I'm going to go in as joining a class. I'm sorry, I'm going to go in and create a class. And this is all you need to do when you start your first class. By the way, if you're a K-12 teacher and you have lots of different ways you can define classes. For instance, a class might be maybe just one subject in a class you teach. Or let's say you teach in a middle school and you teach multiple sections of a class. It's up to you. You could make the entire class, all of those students, into one class, one gigantic one, even though it's period 1, 2, 3, and 4 or whatever. Or you could separate them any way you like, because you can make as many or as few of these as you like. So for class name, I'll just call this webinar 02, okay? Section will be 002. You don't really always have to put a section if you don't want to. And subject will be Google. And I'm just making these things up. So I'm going to hit create. And now it's making my class for me.
Phil, I do have one question. I can't seem to follow along with this. Is that because I'm not set up properly?
You might be, because you logged in as a student. You might not. When you chose your role.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so
okay.
I should redo this if I want to follow along.
Yeah,
right?
or
okay.
if yeah.
Okay.
So here's my class. This is nothing in it. Okay, and it sort of randomly loads. I kind of like what they loaded in here. This this picture they put in. But it just randomly loads a theme or an image or something at the top. And you can change that if you go over here to select theme. if I click this, you can pick, you know, from some stock themes. Maybe I'll get these paintbrushes, show you what that looks like. And it changes it, or you can upload your own photos. It will allow you to do that. And you can customize it to work exactly the way you want it to be. So you can change your theme very easily. Next, I have, you know, a feed here with nothing in it. I also, if I click on students, I have no students. So now I need to show you how to get students. Now, some of you work in schools where the Google administrators are actually getting the students logged into the school, and some of your classes are sometimes populated automatically. Not all of us are that lucky. So there are other ways to get students into your class. The easiest way is to put the burden on the student, make them join the class. And I'll show you how to do that. On the left, you're going to get a class code up here. And you'll see this tiny print here, J51BGC. Now you can take that, and if I select this drop-down menu, I could copy it and I could paste it and send it to emails with students. I could put it up on the board, or when I put the screen and I'm doing my class and I'm telling everybody in my class, well, it's time to join the class, you can click this big thing, this from this drop-down menu, you can click display. And you get this. And you just, this is just a big way, actually you can maximize it, and you put that up on the screen in the class and everybody can join. Now, some of your students might have the phone application for this, at which point, if you're allowing them to use phones, if the school's allowing, they can actually log right in from their phone at this point. The phone app is nice because it gives them notifications right on their phones when they have assignments due and things like that. So it really kind of can keep the kids on task. So in order for somebody to join, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that part of it right now. I'm gonna show you how that works. So I want to join this class. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in as a student over here, and I'm going to go to Classroom, which is, I am there already. And I'm gonna click this plus sign. And instead of creating I'm just going to do join a class. And because I'm logged in as a student here, it's only allowing me to join. And all I have to do is put in this code. Okay, so my code is what? Well, actually, I think I copied it to the clipboard, so I should be able to paste it in. And I'll click join. And this is great because when you give out this code, you can just start seeing your students come in. So I've joined the class. As you can see, as from the student perspective, I can see this just as it looked when I was creating it as a teacher. And right now I have a feed with nothing in it. So we're going to start populating that feed. Let me go back to my teacher view and do it from here. So let's take a look at that. So I'm going to close this out, this little box, invite, and here's my first student. Faisal, if you want to join, feel free. We can have some students joining, but this is what it looks like. And now I want to start adding things into my stream. I want to start populating this with things. Well, I think it would be nice to add a little intro post for everybody in the class. So the first thing I might want to put in is an announcement. Now, an announcement is, this is something I learned from actually using this in a class. I use an announcement anytime I'm putting something up that doesn't require grading or submission from the student. And the reason I use that is if you use any of these other things, oftentimes it says that the students get confused because it tells them they have work that they haven't done. And it gets confusing because there's no work to do, because it's just a static post of some kind. So I'm going to do an announcement, but within an announcement, you can put a lot of stuff. You can put videos, you can put images, you can put anything you want in here, but I'm just going to do welcome to the class or something like that just to show you what that looks like. And you're going to also see this thing called topic, and I'm going to talk about topics because topics are good and topics are important to familiarize yourself with. They're also fairly new to the Google Classroom interface, so I want to show you what that looks like. So for topic, you'll see I don't have any topics, but if I had, they'll come here. So you know what I'm going to call? I'm going to create a topic on the fly, and it's going to be called general. I'm going to come back to topics later because I don't have enough in here to show you how they actually work. But what they do is they actually create filters that students can find things that help students find things quickly. If I wanted to attach something to this, okay, maybe I wanted to get a song or something to play them. I don't know, the happy song. Doesn't everybody like that? Who doesn't like the happy song? And if I wanted to put a video in my class, by the way, I would never do this, but I'm just, if you wanted to put something in right there that the students can see or something for fun, whatever, you can do that. Or it might, maybe not for fun, maybe something interesting. Maybe you made a video of yourself doing a welcome message about the class or something like that. You can also do that. So I'm going to hit post. And now that has been added and my class can see it. So if I look at this from the student perspective, I might have to refresh my feed here. You'll see this is what I get. So now I'm the student, I see welcome to class, and I get to take a look and watch this video. I'm not going to play the video for you, but you can see that that can be done. So look how easy it was to add a video. You can do that. So let's move on and let's do an actual assignment, okay? And I want to show you what that looks like. Let me check on my students here. Now I have another student, I have Faisal. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my stream. And this time I'm going to make an assignment. Let's look at the other things that are here. There's assignment. Look how simple this is. This is the whole thing right here. Okay, you do an assignment. You can create a question, or I can reuse a post, which means basically I can pull a post from a previously created class. Okay, so now I'm going to create an assignment. And this looks simple because there's only one choice, but there's 1,000,001 things you can do with it once you open it. So this particular assignment, I'm going to make this a short essay. Okay, short essay on G Suite. And I'm going to say that's G Suite. And I'm going to give some instructions. Okay, write a short essay on why you love G Suite. Okay, and here, if you want to give it a due date, you can. Maybe there is no due date, but if you want, you can put one in, and when you go to click it, it pops up a calendar for you. And I'm going to make this due tomorrow. If you have a time period where you want it done by, like let's say you want to make sure it's done before the end of class on Friday, and class ends at 2 o'clock, you can click in here and put in a time. I'll leave that where it is. But so now that's where it goes. Now under topic, I'm going to create a new topic, and it's going to be called writing. Okay. And again, these topics are user defined. They can be anything you want them to be. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do. And I'm just going to click assign. Okay, so now that's assigned. So I've got, look at this, it's been assigned, and it's showing me that 0 are done. Okay, so two not done, 0 done. So I'm going to go in as a student, and I'm going to do my homework. So, and I want to show you the options they have. So as a student, I'm going to have to refresh here. So as a student, first of all, look at this up on the top left corner. Here's my schedule. Tomorrow at 11:59, a short essay is due. They got no excuses. Okay, so I'm going to open up the assignment, click to open, and it has my instructions in here. And see right up here, write a short essay on G Suite. Now here, I have a choice of adding or creating. If I click on add, I can get something that maybe I've already created this assignment and it's in Google Drive, and all I want to do is find it in my Google Drive and submit it to my teacher. I could do so. Or maybe it's a link to something that I want to send, okay? Or it could be a file on my computer. Maybe I want to upload something from my computer. Mike, you with your graphics students, they might want to upload their assignments this way, okay? If they have like an Adobe Illustrator file or a PDF file they want to upload, they can do so from here. Or I could just go to create and look what I have. I have the Google Drive I have the Google Drive interface, all the various different apps from Google Drive that I get to use. So I'm going to open up a document and create my essay. Okay, so give me a second, it's going to load. So now it puts the document up here, and what I've got is an empty Google Docs document, and I can open it, and I can, here is my essay. Okay, so let's assume that I did an essay, and because I've opened this from and it's connected to an assignment in Google Classroom, I just go up here on the right-hand corner and click Turn It In. Okay. See, it's turn in your work. It's going to say one attachment will be submitted. It's telling me what attachment will be submitted, and I'll just click Turn In. So now I've submitted my assignment. Now I'm going to be the teacher again, and I'm going to come in here, and I want to see what this looks like. Let me refresh my screen, and it should show me that I have some of these done. Look, one is done. Faisal has not done his homework. Okay, so but this one's done. Now, all I have to do if I want to grade this assignment is click over here on the hyperlink for done, and I will get a list of students that have completed it. And here's the assignment, so I can click it and look at it. Okay, I would probably rather have something slightly more ambitious than this, but that's what it looks like. And at this point, I can grade it. Now, at the top, see, here's the whole grading panel right here on the left. So as you can see, this is for this assignment per student. So if I had a lot of students, there'd be more students going down the left. Notice Faisal's isn't done, okay? And mine's done. So if I want to hit add grade, first of all, if I want to change the point value, maybe this assignment's only worth 30 points. Okay, it's going to warn me that it's updating. So this is a 30-point assignment, and it wasn't that great. So I'm going to, oh, look, Faisal's done. So I'm going to put in, let's see, out of 30 points, I'm giving this about a 20. Okay. And let's take a look at Faisal's assignment. No attachments. Okay, well, he's getting a 5. Okay. So now I've done the grades, but they haven't been sent back to the students yet. Okay, so see how it says not returned? So I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to click return, and whatever is checked will get returned. You can also click, let me show you your options here. You can do one student at a time. If you want to just return one student at a time, you can just do students that are done. If I had other students here that were not done, I could, you would see some that were checked and some that were not checked, or I could do all students. Okay, so I'm going to select all students, and I'm just going to click return. And now their grades are going to be returned to them. Okay, now this does have something built into it that at some point I have a feeling Google will allow this to be shut off, but at this point there's no way to shut this off. It's an option that stays on. And if you look, I went back into my student view, and you'll see that I got 20 out of 30, and I go, I'm not very satisfied with this. I want to fix this. I want to make it better. Okay, so I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to this is my essay, and with more stuff. Okay, so I'm going to add more stuff to my essay because it just wasn't good enough. And I'm going to turn this in again, and this is now I can resubmit. Now I'm going to talk about the concept of this in a second, and I'm going to turn it in. So now this has been resubmitted, and when I go back in as a member of faculty, I can go in and regrade it if I want to. So this is good and it's bad at the same time. If you have a hard deadline and you don't want people to be able to resubmit, they still will be able to, but if it's submitted after the due date, it will be marked as being submitted late, and you can just disregard the resubmission. Okay, so that's something that's a way to do it. I kind of wish you could shut that option off so that you could just have a hard, this is it, this is your last chance, but that's not how it works at this point. The thing that's good about this, though, and this is great for like language arts teachers and people like that, is if you want to give a kid a project and it's an ongoing work in progress that you continue to to work on with a student, and maybe they write something and you give suggestions and they fix them and they write them better, and it's an ongoing assignment. They can keep resubmitting that way until you have the perfect paper. So now you've got not just an assignment that like, oh, here you are, you're done, and by the way, this wasn't that good, so that's your grade. Instead, by the way, this wasn't that good, but what can we do to make it better, so you learn from it. So this has it sort of built in to work that way, and it's kind of changed the way a lot of teachers are giving assignments because it makes it so easy. And so that's how that works. So I'm going to go back to my teacher view, and I'm going to do more stuff. Okay, so oh, Faisal resubmitted. Okay. Oh, look at this. Now he's got a class. Okay, see, that rocks. And that's about what the students do. So I could redo his grade. Look at that. Faisal just flat out rocked. And I'm going to return his grade now for 30 points. Okay. So that's, how that works. Now, I'm going to go back to my feed. I'm going to add some more stuff. I'm going to add another assignment, and this time I'm going to add it, but I'm going to give them a document to work with. Okay, so I'm going to do create an assignment, and let's say that I will say, complete this worksheet or something. And let's say I have a worksheet or something in my Google Drive that I want to give them, but I want each student to be able to fill it out, and I want a unique copy made for each one. Okay, so here under instructions, I can say, complete this worksheet, whatever. I'm going to put the instructions in. I'll do my due date, whatever. I'll make this due next Monday. And now I want to attach an assignment. So I have a choice. I can, upload one from my computer with the attachment, or if I already have one on my Google Drive, this isn't going to be a real assignment. I'll just be, taking anything. Let me just take something like this. I don't even know what it is. 11 elements. Okay. So now I'm going to have them fill this in, and each student's going to fill it in. But to make sure that the students can fill it in, look at my choices here. Students can view the file. That means all they can do is see it. So that's the kind of thing that you give them when you're just giving an assignment. And, it would be the same thing as if you handed it out on a piece of paper to a class. Okay, and the second one is students can edit the file. That means that what you're doing there, when you select that, you're creating a collaborative file. That means every student in your class can work on the same file. That might be great if you're collecting a spreadsheet of scientific data or something like that, okay, that all the students are going to contribute to. Or you can do this one, make a copy for each student. And when you do that, that means that when the student opens the document, that they get their own copy of it, and as soon as they start typing on it, it's their own unique one that they submit to you as the assignment. So that's a great feature. That's also fairly new for it. Let's put in a new topic for this one too. For this one, this will be projects. Okay, so I'm going to click assign. So that's how that works. Okay. It's taking a minute. I don't know why. Okay. So now you see the feed, see how everything's just kind of going in here like this. Now I want to create one, and I want to put in a quiz. No, actually, let's do a question, an exit poll type of question. And I want to show you a couple creative ways you can use questions. If I go to create question, one way that I love to use a question is this. You can put a video in for your question. So let's say that you have a short YouTube video tutorial that you want your students to see, and then you want to ask them a little question afterwards. Maybe it's a question like a social studies question, and it's something about social sciences where they're going to see something about history and you want their opinion on it or something like that, and use it as a prompt for a discussion or something like that. So I'm just going to say, watch the video and tell us what you think, okay? And in here, if I want to put a video in, I can do, find a video, something. I have no idea what I want to find here. Let's do migration. Okay, and I have no idea. A 3-minute social studies video. Good, nice and clean, nice and easy. And so I'm going to put this in. Now look at this. Students can reply to each other, or students can edit answers. If you do if I down here, see, I'm still creating my question. I'm choosing short answer, and I'm electing to do students can reply to each other. You know what I'm doing here? I'm creating a discussion board. Okay, so basically I'm prompting them with a video and opening a discussion for it. So I'm gonna write ask, and then the students can go in and, well, let's go in as a student, and here I am, and let me go back to my feed. And so here I am as the student. I can click and watch the video, and I'm not going to watch the whole thing. And then I'll put my answer in. This is what I think. I think this is heinous, whatever. I'm going to hit submit. Okay, and look at this. You can see classmates' answers. So if I click here, I can see all the classmates' answers, and then I can hit replies. So this creates discussions. Great for opening up discussions or whatever. Another type of question I could put in like that would be maybe a multiple choice question, maybe just to get a quick poll or something like that of my students. So if I do create question here, this time I'll put in, how did you rate today's discussion? Okay, and then I can go here and do multiple choice, and I can do, great, okay, and boring, whatever. I don't know anybody who's going to want that, but you can do that. And if I don't want the other students to see the summary, I can shut it off. Otherwise, it'll start showing the responses right in the feed. So I'll shut that off, and I'll click ask. So this is just another way to take a poll. Maybe if you're teaching a class, you want a quick question at the end of the class for people to answer or something like that. It makes it quick and easy. I'm going to jump up to reuse post and show you what that looks like. There is no way to take an old class that you've done and create a new one from the old one. I'm going to repeat that. There's no way. Let's say that I did a class last year and I go, okay, well, that was perfect. I just want to recreate the same class over again. You cannot do that. Okay, I'm hoping they build that functionality in. There's a lot of people that are unhappy that they can't. But what you can do is reuse a post from a previous class. So let me show you how that works. So if I click up here to reuse post, what it's going to do is it's going to open up all of my previous classes. So I'll click over here on my rhythm and the blues class, and I'll do something like more funk, black rock, and disco. Okay, I'm going to do reuse, and now that's put the presentation in that was part of a class that I had. So that enabled me to recycle old posts from an old class, and you can just do that. So it's an easy way to bring in new stuff. There's another great thing that you can do when you're creating a post. I'm just going to create an announcement to demonstrate this. Nothing special here. I'm just going to create it. But you see over here where it says post. If I want to post it live right now, as you've been seeing, it will post live. But if I go here to this thing on the right, I can also do I can do schedule, and I can do save draft. Let me show you what schedule looks like. Let's say that I don't want this announcement to show until next Tuesday. So I can click there, and it won't go live until next Tuesday. The beauty of that is you can do it when you're thinking about it and when you're ready and you want to have it done, and maybe you have a little time to get it done, but the students won't see it until you want them to. So you can schedule something to show at that time. By the way, when this does show, I will get a message telling me that it got posted live. Google Classroom will tell me that. I can also do this. I can do a post, and I could just do this, save draft. Okay, that means that I've created it, it's sitting there, but no students can see it until I give it to them. So you see up here on the top, it says saved posts, and I've got 3 of them. If I go up here and I want to make one of these live, I can just hit post. So now that post, excuse me, is live. And that's how it works. So you might be able to plan your whole semester or your whole class, weeks in advance, and have them all just sitting in the drafts. And just as time comes, you just release them. You could be on the beach, just release your assignment. Who cares? So that's how that works. Now, one of the beauty features of this is, particularly for those of you that attended the Google Forms workshop that we did, and we looked at ways to create a quiz in Forms. You can create a quiz in Forms and integrate it into Classroom, and Classroom will pull the grade into the Classroom grading for you. You don't even have to grade it. Okay, so let me show you how that works. I'm going to go to Create Assignment, and this will be, I'll call this midterm or something like that. And take the quiz. Hopefully you can get more specific with these kind of things. So for taking the quiz, I'm going to give it a due date. Okay, and now look at my window. When I go here to my Google Drive and I go to add an assignment, I'm going to find my quiz. Where's let's see here. Let me just type, where's today? Let me just type in trivia. Hold on, oh no, wait, webinar. I forgot what I called the quiz. Let me see if it shows up here. Oh, maybe I called it Classroom. Well, you should know what you called your quiz. Okay, so let's see here. Here it is, quiz for Google Classroom. That's what I called it. That was too easy. Okay, so I'm going to put that in. Now look what happened when I put in a quiz. Because that was a Google form that was designated as a quiz, this text at the bottom of the screen appears for me automatically. Classroom can import grades for assignments. Grade importing automatically limits each form to 1 response per user, collects email addresses, and restricts responses to users in your domain. That means users within your school. I can shut that off if I don't want that, but I do want that. And I'm going to click Assign. And now my quizzes will come up graded as they come in, as the students take them. So if I go in as the student and take my quiz, click on the quiz, and I'll put in my name and my last name. I'm just gonna do, this is my generic, how can I say it, my demo quiz that I use all the time. And I'm just going to hit submit. Now, because of the settings I have, I didn't really show, I don't get my grade yet. Okay. And it'll take me back and it shows that it's submitted. So now let me go in as a teacher and see what that looks like. I've got 1 done. Let's see what I got. Here it is. Let's see. Whoops, I can look at the responses here, or I'm going to go to student work and import grades up here in the top right corner. Okay, geez, it wasn't that long ago that I did this. It's amazing that it, and it's importing the grades. So you could do this at any time, and you don't have to return the grades until all the grades are in. So if you don't want to, show everybody what they got till everybody's taken their test, you can wait and you can see that it was a 25-point quiz. I got 25, I got 15, and I'm going to return the grades to the students. Okay, so this just maintains itself. Now, if I click on any one of these students, actually, let me go back, do students. And if I click on any one student, now I get an overview of the work that they've done. So this makes the whole thing kind of work really nicely. And what I like about it is that it puts it all in one place for you. Okay, just a couple other little tidbits I want to go over before I open this up for some questions. When you go to create a post, I just want to show you the other options that are available here. For the attachment, this would be anything they want to get from their computer, or they can get something from their Google Drive if they want, so they can just grab any files and load those in. For the Drive, that's pretty much the same thing as attachment, with the exception that it limits you only to your Drive assignments, only to things that are on Google Drive. So you can put that in. If you click on the YouTube one, this is where you can look for a YouTube video. I mean, I did this before, but I didn't formally show it to you. And I'll do a search. And if I want to find one, I can just preview it by clicking on it. And if I click add, it puts it in. Let's do a different one. I already did that one. I can click add, and it will put it in. And then the final one is a link. So for a link, this would be any website or anything that you want to link to if you want. So if I wanted to do a link to ettc.net, I could add a link and see. By the way, you can. One thing I didn't show you is you can do more than one of these. So if you had a multi-document assignment that you wanted to give to people, you could put it all into the one thing. And then, of course, the students can get there if they want. And I will, let's see, it won't let me assign it because I didn't put in a title. Okay, so I'll click assign. Now I want to get over, because I kept on talking about the topics, I want to show you how those work. If you go over here to topics, on the left, you see those are the topics I've been creating as I've been working. And over a long period of time, you can get a lot of stuff in this feed. And one way to simplify the feed when you're trying to look for something specific is if you know something is a writing assignment and you click on writing, it will filter to only the assignments that have been labeled as writing. So this is really just a quick, easy filtering guide that allows you to, it really just helps you limit things to specific assignments, okay? And there was another thing I just wanted to say and I can't remember what it was. Let me see, was it something in here? No, it'll come to me as we're going along. Let me show you this menu up on top. You can, again, I showed you this at the beginning, but I'll go over it. You can get to your other classes from here. You can go to your calendar from here. You can also open this calendar in Google Calendars and all the same stuff will show up. And let's see here, about, okay, stream. And that's basically it. Now I'd like to ask some questions. Hello, anybody have a question? Okay, I see Mike can't speak now. Oh, okay. Hello? I heard something. Okay, Mike, you can only type. Do you want to type a question? Hello? Oh, here we go. Oh, okay, you're lost because you logged in as a student. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Oh, does it say you have to? Okay, that would be Pete Gallagher. He can help you with that. maybe when I guided you in to log in as a student, it did that. That never happened to me. I'm not quite sure why that happened. So it must have labeled you as a student. Any other questions? Anybody have any ideas on how they want to use this? Yeah, Pete's real good for that. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a question. It could be a comment.
Well, I guess if there are no any questions, we can wrap this up.
And Mike, yes, to answer your question, this will be online, as will be all the others. And Faisal, I think, will send out emails telling people how to get to the online materials when we put them up, which is going to be very soon. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
And for those of you who participated in most of these workshops, webinars, I will be compiling those who attended for at least 50 plus minutes to the webinar, and those people will be getting professional development units, PDUs, so that they count as workshops for you, and you can add them to your required PDUs for your school. Hopefully,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
hopefully that will be done in a week or two. So be on the be watching your emails. They will come electronically to you.
Oh, by the way, Mike, or to the rest of you, if you log into your regular Google account, like let's say you have a home Google account that's not linked to your school, you can also do Classroom from there. It used to be it only worked with school domains, but now anybody can do it right from their personal account. So, create a little class for your family.
And we'll accept any documents, like, for example, if you have something in Pages, what
Yes.
you have.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, one of my favorite uses of this is with music teachers, to have them, like if their students make recording MP3s of themselves playing their recorders or something like that, they can upload them here. You can put up Adobe Photoshop files, anything. Because remember, Google Drive is just a storage space. So if you have an odd file that isn't recognized by Google itself, that doesn't mean that you can't download it and open it in the appropriate software on your local computer.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah, it is great. Yeah, a lot of people aren't even tapping in to the possibilities that that provides. Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, so since there are no more questions, I'd like to thank you, especially to those who have been here many times to our webinars. What's going to happen next is I am going to compile all of these webinars, and we're going to create new dates. Hopefully the idea is to put all of them in a single month so that you don't have to wait too long to take the next one. So be on the lookout. I will actually notify you when this is out so that you're able to, and it's going to be, again, the same thing, an introduction. Again, Phil is going to be live. It's not going to be recorded. So when you have two things that are the same and done live, they're totally different, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So it's going to be a refresher. And if you have any questions concerning any of these webinars, feel free to contact me here at the SRI and ETTC. All right, I'm going to put my email.
And we can do webinars for your schools too.
So I'm putting my email in there for you to have and contact me. Okay, and if you think school is out for the summer, but if you think that this will benefit your school, we can actually have Phil do a webinar specifically for your school, and it's
Or I could actually
reasonable.
show up there in person too
He
sometimes.
can also show up in person, exactly, and deliver this in
They let me
person.
out occasionally.
The thing is, when you do this in person, you have people actually doing hands-on. Your hands is on a computer. You're logged in as a student. Phil is the teacher, so you have more possibilities of training and understanding the topic. And this is one that is a little bit more difficult. The learning curve for Classroom is a little bit more difficult than the other workshops or webinars that you've taken.
Yeah, this
As
one made me, like I said, I really never got it completely until I actually used it. But the good news is when you start to use it, it just kind of falls into place. And
exactly.
it starts to all make sense. Like, for instance, when you start using it, suddenly you're getting all these notifications that students are submitting assignments, and you go, oh, wow, I didn't know it was going to do that, you know, whatever. And if you do use this as a teacher and you have a smartphone, absolutely get the Google Classroom app on your phone and authorize the notifications, because it really kind of it keeps you totally on task with your class, and it really kind of keeps you kind of accessible to the students on your own time. You know, it doesn't mean you have to respond, or it doesn't mean that, but you can kind of keep track and you see when people are doing what. And you know, I could be home watching television and little things will pop up on my phone, and I'm like, okay, the students are all submitting some work now, or you know, such and such did his work or whatever, and it, you know, just kind of keeps you in touch.
So
Correct.
after you grade a quiz, will it automatically go onto Sheets and keep a record?
Oh, yes, it will do the same thing as it did when we were looking at Google Forms. If you go to the results area of the Google form itself and you click on the thing to create a sheet, the little green icon,
Right.
And create a sheet, it will do that as well. And that would actually be important if you had a couple of, let's say, maybe essay questions or short answer questions that needed to be graded manually in addition to the automatic grading of the multiple choice ones.
Right.
That might be a time you need to use that.
Right. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Sure. I
This was
enjoyed it.
wonderful.
It's very cool. Start using it.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Too. Bye-bye. Okay.